enough. We made a lot more in sales, but I felt like the consumer was a lot harder than typical. So, I guess what I was getting at is I was like, hey, well, since Ricardo, you have all these years of experience, can you kind of showcase each year of what it was like so we can understand, is it a business thing? Is it just a consumer market problem? Things like that. One of the things that I mentioned to him, since COVID, I think a lot of people have discovered junk removal. A lot of people have jumped into the industry to start a business in it. I think a lot of people have spread the word about what it is. And a lot of customers have used it or have heard of someone using it at this point. I would say out of every 10 people in my area, at least 2 people are aware of what a junk removal company is, and one of them have actually used one. That's a lot of people in a market. And so I think that, so we'll just go from here. So from 2020 to this year, I kind of want to talk with Ricardo of, hey, recap each year. How was the consumer market and how has the industry changed year over year? So let's start with 2020, for example. Okay. From 23 before, I don't know anything about junk removal. So let's walk through what happened in 2020. So some of the notable events that have happened in 2020 is the first case of the Corolla happened that year, early in the year. That's the same year that the $1,200 stimulus checks got sent out. It was the same year that a lot of protesting started happening. I'm trying not to say some of these things because I wouldn't want to get flagged or anything like that with us being live. So I'm just going to say some code words and you guys will pick up on what I'm talking about. The Jorge Lloyd thing happened. Okay. And then, yeah, that's what ChatGPT gave me of all of the main things that happened that year. So reflecting on 2020, what was that year like in junk removal? And wasn't that the year of JunkCon?
Yeah.
Or was that 22?
Was that? I don't even remember.
I'm gonna look it up.
So I will tell you that in 2020, the business was really good. It was really good. So like in 2019, like late 2019, I remember the president of the United States coming on board and saying that something in China, some virus, and it was just rumors about a virus was going on. And I'm like, okay, is this going to affect my business? Is this really going to affect my business? Then the rumors started popping out about if people were going to, that they were going to stop people from being on the streets and make them wear masks, which I just thought was crazy and impossible to do. But then you would see in China, they were already like 6 months doing it. Like you would go, like they would show videos in China and there was nobody in the street and then people at their houses wearing masks. And we were like still at the movies doing the same shit. I honestly saw 2020 coming up and I'm thinking in my head, bro, my business is going to be the worst business ever. It's going to put me to a halt. They're going to pull you over. They're going to tell you not to go to work, blah, 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 yada, yada. And I remember this one guy telling me this, and this is in 2020. I remember exactly what he said. He said, wow, they're going to make us stay indoors. Hey, wait a minute, you own a junk removal service. I said, yeah. He goes, dude, you're going to be busy. And I said, what the fuck? I was just thinking in my head, dude, get out of here. And he said, people are going to realize that they're home and realize how bad their furniture is and got to replace their couches, their mattresses, and everything. And I'm like going, nah. 2020 came around, Carson, and it was by far the best year we ever had. We had evictions. The city was calling me. Normal customers calling me. Was I removing couches left and right? People were pushing them outside. This is the best part about it. I would go remove a mattress and people would leave the mattress outside because of COVID. And I would show up with my mask on. I would be driving down there was not a lot of traffic on the road. And I could just remember the numbers that I was doing was astronomical. I think at one point I was like at 380 or something, and it was like mid the year. It was just a ridiculous number. It was a ridiculous number. At that point, I wasn't really taking track of what I was doing. But I do remember saying this to myself: all good things come to an end. It carried on from 2020 to 2021. And then 2022, we started seeing a lot of kind of mellowing out. It started mellowing out, but it was like late 2022. I want to say it was late 2022 where the business.
2022 was JunkCon. So
yeah.
So that to give you a time frame of
and it was in March, right?
It was in October. You started promoting it throughout the summer.
Okay.
I'm not sure when you had, but there was a lot of everybody was making videos. Go to JunkCon. Go to JunkCon.
Yeah. I can just remember that in 2022 at JunkCon, we were all making money, and everybody was making money. I was getting less calls. So, see, guys, the thing about my business is I know when the economy's bad because my phone rings a lot. People asking me how to get business, what to do, how to boost their business. People are always calling me. And I knew that I wasn't getting any phone calls. I would get one like once every other week. But now I like on a daily basis, I'll get one or two. And then throughout the week, it'll just go like that. That's how many junkable companies there are. And then 2022, it started slowing down towards the end of the year. And then 2023, it started really leveling out, Carson. I just remember.
So just reflecting on 2022, I know we kind of skipped over 21, but I think it kind of, that 2022 was the same reflection a little bit of 21. But going into 2022, when you went to JunkCon, obviously everybody's going to be optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think they were aware that times were good right then and things would kind of slope down after? Like, were they even aware of the state of the economy that we were in at the time?
Okay, so that's a great question. So this, I'm going to look at, I want you to show you my hand, okay? This is how it looked at to me, for me. So 2020, it starts going up really, and look, it's just sharp. 2021, it goes sharp. 2022, look how it's going. It's still going up, right? But it's kind of wants to level up. 2022 at the end, it's still going up. And then 2023, it starts leveling out. It didn't get bad. It wasn't getting bad in 2023. It just started leveling. We're still making money. We're still making money. And I'm going to tell you something about my business. I have contracts. I have city contract. I have customers, repeat customers galore. When it's slow, my business is like this. When it's good, my business is like this, no matter what. When it was COVID, the bitch was right at the prime of COVID. And it was the first time I had really noticed we were making a lot more money. I was making a lot more money. I was subcontracting jobs left and right to anybody who would pick up the phone. So hopefully that helps you out. But in 2021 was the same thing. So 2020, 2021, it was really good. 2023, I started noticing that it started slowing down.
So 23, I would have called you the first time in January. I would say somewhere in January of 2023, I would have called you.
Mm-hmm.
And I started valet junk removal in 2023. I started, and it, again, like I said, 2023, for me entering it, because I was a part of that group that was influenced on social media. So I entered with that group. I don't see many of them around anymore. Again, all this industry is, you had told me in the beginning, there's seasons. Like you'll see people come and go. Remember, guys, back whenever I joined, Jedi had just made his YouTube channel. Jedi had just started making content. Lugaway was a thing, and he had stopped making videos right whenever I had started. So Lugaway was one of the top YouTubers that everybody talked about. He's gone now. I don't even know what he's doing. There's a video of you and him hanging out at JunkCon.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of these, and then there's some other minor YouTube guys who are making video. Like a lot of people had started making content. It was a very content 2022 to 2023. You notice shift in content making. So they're not really paying attention to their junk removal companies much. They're starting to kind of push more and more on the content side of things too. Can you kind of talk about that and how that impacted things?
You can tell how good the economy was. You could tell how good the economy was in 2023 for these newcomers in junk removal, that they were doing like junk removal for 3 months, and then they would open up their YouTube channel in March and then go, hey, March is great, man. Hey, I'm going to show you what I've been doing for the last 3 months. And then we'd have a great YouTube channel from March, April, May, June, July, August, September, November. Wait, what's going on? Why is it getting slower? Then it's just dust. They wouldn't post any more content. They were just not existing. Because when the economy is good, the envy of other people's channels and the attitude of I'm making money anyway, I might as well just do YouTube channel and talk about people, talk about it. That's what YouTube was doing to these junk removal companies. Go ahead, Roger. You had a question? I got to go to you. Okay, Sin City. Go ahead, Sin City.
Yeah, so I guess like a lot of companies, as we were talking about, like Lugaway, they've all partnered with Joseph's Junk Removal. So they're under like a partnership with them.
Are they in the same area or something?
No, these are different areas. Like on Dogs, I'll put this link here on this little news thing. You could read like a little thing, but yeah, there's a lot of companies that partnered with that Joseph's Junk guy for whatever reason.
Is that kid? That kid called me.
Yeah, he was that.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that. But how does this involve Lugaway? Because you said Lugaway, right?
Goes on here, like the people that have partnered with them. So, like when you scroll down, you'll see Junk Bear in August, and then Lugaway in November of 2023 partnered with Joseph.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that. So the part that I was trying to explain was that how the YouTubers came about, and I tell you, in COVID time, I think it was 2021, somewhere around there. And I've told this story before. I'll tell it one more time, really quick. I had a small mini summit of all the people in my area, all the junk removal companies, all the newcomers in my area. Out of all those people, one of them is still in business. I think I had about 12 that showed up, and only one is still in business. And I think she's still in business. I honestly think she's still in business. I don't know. I don't see her. I don't see her anywhere on Facebook. This is 2021. Yeah, I had a summit. I posted videos and everything, and I did a YouTube channel about it. They're all gone. As a matter of fact, let me bring this up. I had a summit in 2022. No, it was a pizza night. I did a pizza night on 2022. Hey, come over, get to know Ricardo, Junk Guys, look at my warehouse, and maybe one day you'll be like, it was one of those things. I had 19 to 20 people show up. We took this picture outside. We all sat at the campfire. It was at night. I set up a fire with a bucket and give away pizza. I bought pizza for everybody and drinks. And out of those, and this is 2022, and all of those people, it wasn't because I was about to go to the Gamma JRA thing. That's when it was, Nick. That's when it was. And out of all those companies, Anthony from TNT Junk Removal is the only one still out there. And Anthony just worked with me the other day. Anthony's the only one out of those 19 companies that I could.
So Ricardo, why do you think that is? I mean, do you think it's the economy, or do you think they just couldn't hack sticking it out and making money? Or do you think they overextended themselves?
Okay, I don't think they overextended themselves. I think they're just lazy, bro. I think it's just a thing of laziness. Like, you want it to come in fast. They're up here running there's a track, and they're running around the track.
Yeah.
Instead of jogging and taking their time and walking and figuring it out. You know what I mean? They want to see the money fast.
I would agree.
I even remember getting an argument with one of them.
Yeah, they think it.
This is not a lie. This is what happened. I got in an argument with one of them, and he goes, well, Ricardo, you sell your stuff so cheap. This is a new guy in this business. I've already been in this business for about 13 years. And this new guy comes out of nowhere. He goes, well, Ricardo, your prices are too low. I think you should raise them. And I'm like, motherfucker, what? I started this market in DFW, and you're telling me? I pulled him to the side. I said, don't question me in front of people, dude. Don't do that anymore. Don't do that anymore. And from that day forward, I never talked to him again. But he still ate my pizza. And every slice that he took from the pizza was kind of pissing me off. It was making me mad. It really was. Every slice. So, Carson, does that answer your question?
So let's reflect on this year. So, well, let's kind of just roll back over to 2020. So rate each year. So 10 being you're in junk removal heaven, right? You're all you're doing is jobs. You're not like, when was the last time you've been home? You don't know, right? Yeah. You sleep overnight in the truck. You're that busy. So that's a 10. 0 is you're contemplating going out of business. You're seeing people that you're close with that have junk removal companies going out of business. Mm-hmm. So from 2020, each year, kind of rank it from 0 to 10 of overall how you felt about the industry from a junk removal revenue standpoint of how easy and blissful it may be.
So I'm going to back up 1 year. I'm going to go to 2019. Okay. 2019, I would rank it as a 6. It was good. Hey, I was making money and paying bills, and I was even saving some. Okay. 2020, March 2020, 10. 2021, 9.9. 2022, 8. 8.5. 2023, I would say was I started noticing it in 2023.
6.
A 6. I want to say a 7, bro, but I want to 6.5. 2024, a 2.
Slow.
I will say this. Here's the thing. I would, again, like I said, in 2023, I was but it's your first year. You have no idea what you're doing. You're trying to listen to all this advice going on. You don't know. You're trying to learn how to even run it. But I mean, and this is my first business I've ever done, so I was trying to learn everything. And I'm like, man, if I would have started in 2019, man, like I missed out on all of the what I think it had a lot to do, because nowadays people just don't got the money.
Yeah, no.
They just don't have the money.
Yeah.
You know, me and Orson always argue with you about the whole Gucci thing.
Yeah.
Look, like at the end of the day, if these people don't have, like we went to a job today. She had about a half a load of moving trash. I looked at Keaton and I because he typically does the pricing because he somehow lands it better than I do. I looked at him and I go, yo, like we got to go low on this one. I know it. I feel it. I can feel the energy. He does a half a load. We typically at a half a load, I think we're over 300. So he does like 250, something like that. we can knock it out for 250. She goes, $250? $250? And I'm like, and Keaton, she goes, I can, I'll have y'all do it for $100. And Keaton's staring at her, like, and I'm looking over at Keaton, like, we can't tell if she's joking, right? Like, we're waiting for her to go, oh no, I'm just kidding. I'll go ahead and get started, right? And then we wait for, like, I swear, 10 seconds. And then I look over at Keaton and I'm like, and he looks at me, and I like, through my eyes, I'm like, bro, she ain't joking. Like, she hasn't laughed. That she hasn't, like, this is, and then I look at her and I go, like, at some point, it's like, why even call? But that type of customer you did not have in 2020, 2021, 2022. I think all the people that were making content should have been doubling down on their business in terms of spending more time cultivating relationships there. And I think a lot of people were too busy trying to show off their company at JunkCon that they weren't focused on making the money while the money was good. I want to say all that because I just want people to understand, if depending on how long you've been in this deal, that 2024, it was a hard fight for me to get to where I hit. It was hard. So with that being said, 2024 you said was like a 2. I definitely agree with every single one of those rankings, even though I wasn't in the junk business beforehand. Just seeing other people and how you have all these and I'm like, I'm hearing these numbers some of these people are making. I'm like, dude, there's no way with the effort that you put in, like, and then, but all of a sudden, what happened in 2023? They started disappearing. You don't hear about them anymore. This year, they're like all gone. The latter half of 2024 has eliminated a lot of people. So what does this mean, Ricardo, in terms of how do you, obviously we have a new administration. So the past 4 years reflecting the latter half of those 4 years, a lot of people had a hard time in the junk business as compared to the prior two. So how do you think, if you look at all these different things, you look at the administration coming in, you look at all these other industries, what are you looking at to see what is going to make 2025 back to a 6, back to a 7, 8, 9, 10? What do we need to be looking at?
I think one of the most important things by far is the interest rate. That is a make it or break it for building houses, building commercial properties. Those affect us big time. That also affects people moving into the houses that the builders would build. That right there reflects
moving out.
Exactly. That reflects if the person is going to get a good interest rate. Then you got all this stuff on social media and people talking about don't buy a house right now. People talking about don't buy a car, and who suffers? The car dealerships and the housing market suffer. And Nick, Nick, go ahead and say something about this.
Well, just in my neighborhood in San Diego, a lot of big corporations now are building like right down the street from my house, they built 20 brand new homes with ADUs on, and they're all right now for lease. They're not even selling them anymore. They're just leasing these things out. So corporations are buying up in gobs, and they're the ones making the money. And so that's where the future is going. I don't think interest rates are going down anytime soon. And I think the housing market is just going to be, and, I wish he's going to make some changes, but it ain't going to happen anytime soon. It's going to be a long haul before things.
I will mention just one quick thing to take into consideration. 2020, because just hearing Nick talk, I'm like, oh, hey, I just saw about this. All the customers that I've helped that are from California. I would say 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Californian. And here's the thing. Not only does it help me, but it helps Nick.
Yeah.
Because when they want to move out of their house, who do they call to get rid of the junk that they're trying to get their house to sell? They're going to call Nick. Then when they move here, like that's real estate. When real estate's moving, the junk business thrives. So not only did stimulus, I don't think stimulus, it helped and it got things, but that's not what I think really helped our businesses during that time. I think the migration had a lot to do with it.
I will. Hey, Vince,
I agree with that.
Vince, did you have a question? Or did Vince leave? Go ahead, quick, Vince. Say something. Vince, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I tapped it on accident. I'm over here.
Okay, you didn't have a question. And he did it again. Roger, raised his hand again.
My bad, brother.
Okay. Roger, keep your hand down. Okay. So I remember it was so good that it influenced the future of my business. It had influenced the future. I bought property in Azle. I ended up getting a new warehouse, and then I was able to still save that money to even get my warehouse this past season for my haunted house, which was like early 2024 before the economy started. I had already got the building, and we were working on it for like 8 months straight. So kind of think about that. The money was there still, and then as it gets worse, it gets worse. You know what I mean? So you talk about March, it started getting worse. April started getting worse. I'm getting my building. I had it like in February. You know what I mean? And it kept on getting worse. I have seen a significant difference. I will tell you, if the interest rate drops, and I totally believe Trump will do this, if the interest rate drops, you will see people and the acceleration of the economy. It's going to take months. It might take 6 months for the economy to start rolling again. And you will still see, while it's rolling, businesses come in and businesses come out. I do want to say this also. Carson mentioned something. He said that he thinks that if you ask 10 people, 2 of them would know what a junk removal is. I'm going to tell you, if you get 100 people, I would say 10 of them know what junk removal is. That's
so 1 out of 10. So 1 out of 10.
Yes, that's my number. Yeah, that's my number. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, that's 1 out of 10. So I kind of disagree on that point, but I do, and I will tell you, the people, because I keep on hearing, and these are 2 different words: competition and saturation. And I want to tell you the difference of it. Okay, saturation is landscaping. Saturation is roofing. We are far from being saturated in this market. And we need to bring these people in that come into this business so they can go out of business in 2 to 3 years. Because Nick, I'll be honest with you, Nick, I'm going to stay in this business for a long time. I'm good. I'm going to grind it out. Nick looks like he's going to grind it out.
I'll be in.
You know what I mean? Hanario looks like let these people
I'm in.
Nick, look, I look at it like this. Let these people come in this business, Nick. Let them service other customers and let those customers know what we do for a living. And then 2 or 3 years later, they're out of this business, and then you eat them up then. You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. And the business has—
And I think the big thing is to get and to meet other junk guys like we're doing around the nation, like Ricardo's always said, because all these guys are coming in and you get in good with them and you're like, I'm on vacation and kick you jobs. And then pretty soon they're kicking you jobs. And when they're out of business, they're giving you all their business. And so I've done that a lot this year. A lot of people have been out of business, and I've been getting a lot of their flow now just by making connections with other junk guys.
Yeah.
Because they can't handle it.
And I think about it. That's great.
They don't make enough money.
Yeah, that's great. What he said is great. I look at Marco, like Marco's business. Marco joined Junk Guys in a slow time. Imagine when the business gets really good, how busy he's going to get. Because he thinks right now, like Rio Grande's making money, but wait until it gets really good. And then you're going to go, holy shit. this works good. It's regardless, my business is down, Carson's business down, Orson's business. Well, Orson didn't have a business, but Orson thinks the business is good right now. He thinks he's busy right now. Orson literally says, man, we're making money right now. I don't think it's slow, but you haven't seen it when it was.
Oh my God. I tell you what, the first time I called Ricardo, that summer of 2023, I'm telling you, I'd be on one of his phones talking to him the whole day, because we'd be talking all day long, summer of 2023. He'd have his other phone. Like when he put on YouTube that he was doing 12 jobs a day, he was doing not fridge jobs, 6 a day. He was doing jobs.
Yeah.
He would have weeks where he's rolling in 10, 20,000 every week, normal. Like, that's not an exaggeration. Like, he was killing, and I was like, at the time, I was like, dude, I just need dude, just give me a little smidge of that and I'll be coasting. But this year, not the same, for sure.
I do remember that, and you were always like, man, and I was getting a lot of hoarder houses. I was getting a lot of evictions, a lot of hoarder houses. And you know what it was? It was they were running out of that stimulus money, and that money they stole from the government, from the PPL and the EIDL loans. They were running out of that money. It was gone in 2023. So they started getting evicted from the houses, from the fraudulent loans that they were getting, or even the loans that they didn't even have. The stimulus stuff, they were failing, and that stuff was failing at that time. So that's why I was getting a lot of that stuff. I remember.
Apparently, you can't, if you go into bankruptcy, the EIDL loan or whatever, you cannot file bankruptcy on that.
You can't. You still got.
Apparently, it stays with you so no matter what money you make for the rest of your life, they'll like garnish your wages and all that.
I heard that it skips down to your family too. That's what I heard. I just heard it. I didn't look into it, bro. I don't know.
I just know that because like I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, and I've seen a lot of his, like, he has a lot of business videos on another channel, and a lot of people have been calling him, going like crying, going, I took out $100,000. One lady took out 500 grand. I'm like, $500,000? Like, with a failing business, so that means you don't know how to run a business. So how are you going to make $500,000 within a short period of time to live? I mean, that's like, that can take someone over the edge.
I got a phone call today. I was in the hospital today, and I got a phone call, and a guy wants to call it quits. He wants to call it quits, and he's a direct competitor of one of us too. And he asked me not to tell him. He's probably watching, so I'm not going to tell. But he was telling me that he wants to call it quits. He bought his truck in 2021. Business was great. He expanded to 2 trucks, and then he bought a 3rd truck, and he has 3 trucks. And now he's just done. He's like, stick a fork in. I'm done. He goes, I can't do this. I got too many employees. And then here's the best part about it. He's got 6 employees, 3 trucks, and he sits at home taking all the bookings. Still to this day. Did 2 jobs yesterday. 2 jobs, had 6 guys on the payroll, I guess.
What the fuck?
Dude, I didn't ask him how many people he had on the payroll. But
Stupid.
Yeah, dude, so dumb.
So do you, Ricardo, have enough information with what we know now with everything? Is it fair to give a projection for 2025 as far as 1 to 10 of just where we're sitting? What would you guess it to be?
I'll stop you there. Orson, you had a question, Orson, really quick?
Oh, just kind of off of what you were saying about the guy wanting to quit. I was wondering what people do when they quit junk removal.
Oh, they quote sell their business.
No, but I mean, kind of like, I feel like I make so much money doing this. I'm like, I could never get another job. Like, could you go work for somebody else?
Here's the difference, Orson, that you're making money. They're not making money. You have money in the bank, Orson. They have negative. They're going week to week. They have to go work at Home Depot. Does that make sense? So leaving this business is not a big deal. Returning their trailers and their trucks is not a big deal to them. I told the guy, I said, if you're going to quit, he goes, you're going to damage your credit. And he goes, yeah, because I won't be able to pay. And I'm now 3 months behind on one of my trucks and 2 months on the other. I said, bro, you're already damaging. Return those trucks. Just return them. You're not going to be able to pay him anyway. And he asked me the question, Orson. He said, so when do you think it's going to get back? It might not get good until October. It might not get good until October. We're still going to suffer.
You have a crystal ball.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just said October to make them feel good. Or bad. Hell, I don't know. And this is a question that I think. Go ahead and ask your question, Carson, one more time.
Yeah, so just like, do you have enough information to make a fair guesstimate on what you think 2025 is going to be 1 to 10?
Okay, I do think I'll be easily tell you this. It's all going to rely on what the new administration does. Okay, I can't predict what he's going to do. I can't predict what the administration's going to do. Right now, he's too busy trying to negotiate for the Panama Canal, Greenland, Alaska, and all this other bullshit. I can't predict, but I'll tell you. Canada, my bad. I'll tell you, if he goes and drops the interest rate, I think it will take 6 months for it to circulate into the economy. And you're going to see investors, bro. Oh my God, you're going to see investors just start gobbling up properties. You have to realize that investors that have millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, that 1% will make or break any investment. That 1/7, that 3% to 4% will make or break any deal for them. And they know that they can get this at a 2% or a 3%. They will wait and they hold on to them. And that's why they're rich.
And here's another problem. A lot of these capital firms, a lot of these, private lenders, they continue to dump their money. What you have to look at is the 10-year bond, okay? Because if the interest rates are not at the number that they need to be, they have plenty of other options to dump their money into. But us as a junk removal company, we want that money not being poured into anything else other than interest rates, right? Because if you look at that, like wherever the money's flowing into, it's just a direct correlation to our industry is what I've seen. And we happen to have a massive migration on top of like the lowest interest rates in the past, they hit what, 2-point-something% at one point?
Yeah.
So, you got to remember back at, like, for those who aren't necessarily familiar with real estate interest rates, back whenever COVID happened, they dropped interest rates to 2%.
2%.
Why would they do that? They're doing that to stimulate the economy, because I don't know if you know this, over 4 million people were drawing unemployment in the United States during that. Was today's unemployment is 200,000. When COVID happened, it was 4.4 million. So what did they do? They had to drop the interest rate to get money flowing because everybody was out without a job. So are they going to do the same thing? I don't know. It's been tough.
People they didn't need to work.
Incomes have been low. Incomes have not caught up to inflation. So I think there's a lot of reasons to end this slowness. If you want to call it that we're in a recession, I don't know what the real term is for what has to happen for that to happen, but that's just my
the definition of recession is when the GNP or GDP is not over a certain number, and we've been at that. It has to go through two intervals, 2 quarters
of growing. It has to go up.
It has to be over that certain number. I forgot the number is, and right now it's only 2 quarters. Right now it's been under that number for the last 6 quarters. So if you want to say we're in a recession, it only takes 2, but we've been in it for the last 6 quarters, which is a year and a half or something like that. Almost. Wait, no, a year and 2 months, 4 months, something like that. So that's how bad it's got.
Well, go look at if anybody's interested, go look at all these national home builders. Their stocks have plummeted. Like they're flying down right now because not only are they going to where they're going to struggle is with these tariffs that are probably going to come in. They get all their material from overseas to build these houses. We're talking about like the big Lennar, Ryan Homes, DR Horton. Not only are they going to experience problems with their building materials, but if there's, you know, like, let's just face it, if there's mass deportations, what is that going to do to the construction industry?
Yep, we
So,
were.
let's see what happens with the housing market in terms of that. But
overall, guys, if you're looking like you're thinking, hey, when is the economy? Wait until the interest rate budges. The interest rate went high and the economy started fucking sinking. We had to do that to level it out. They knew what they were doing. I think just the last president really messed it up pretty bad. I don't know. I'm not really political into these finance, but I will tell you that if you want to know when the economy is going to get better for like Marco, who hasn't seen the economy when it's good. Well, I know he has seen it when the economy is good, but wait until he announces that the Federal Reserve and the Treasury have come to an agreement to drop the interest rate, and you're going to see
anything below 5. If we get below 5, oh my goodness, hey, we're going to start new junk removal locations. We're going to be sitting good.
Yeah.
So below 5, if you want to know the number, below 5.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. All right, guys. Does anybody have any questions about this? I appreciate everybody coming today. We haven't done this meeting in 2 months, and next week we'll have another subject for. I think Carson brings a lot of value to these meetings. So if you want to bring something up next week, Carson, let's do it again. You know,
well, I have so next week I will. Me and Keaton landed a $17,400 job next week, so we could.
Oh no,
we could talk about how that's going.
That's great. Fuck, that's more than I'll make in 2 months. Okay, that's perfect. That's just great. Thanks, everybody. Anyway, guys, okay, I'll see everybody next Tuesday night. See y'all then. Have a great night. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye. Go Texas. Go Texas.
See you guys.